So this is a gang I haven't really talked about on this channel before, Psycho Gang. We're by 59th and Paulina. If you were on my channel about 5-6 years ago, you were seeing me in a lot of videos taking the Western bus down by like 55th, 51st, walking around down there. That's kind of like a border area between like West Inglewood, Gage Park, back of the yards, and some of those other neighborhoods, like they branch off of that. So that area is kind of interesting because literally, okay, along Western and in some places along Damon, the border between like black and Hispanic neighborhood is very stark. Okay, literally, like on the east side, you got it's nothing but black, and then on the west side, nothing but Hispanic. And people, you know, they may cross over for business or shopping or whatever, but young men really don't cross over that much. And it's different gangs, and you know, literally across the street, nobody knows who's who from, you know, one side or the other. Now that's changing a little bit around like 55th, around West Inglewood, because a lot of Mexicans are buying up a lot of the bandos in the West Inglewood area, and some of the blocks now to the east of Western are starting to be. I'm not saying they're becoming all Mexican, but there's a lot of Mexicans moving in around that area, and a lot of those neighborhoods are mixed now. So, anyways, that's kind of an interesting area of the city. It's changing, like a lot of areas of the city, but one particular gang that, like I said, I haven't mentioned a lot, Psycho Gang. So that's actually named after a guy who died. He was a 16-year-old that didn't get killed as part of any gang beef. It was actually mistaken identity. He got killed down, I think, in the Jeffrey Manor area, like down in the 90s or the 100s down there. And he was just hooping, and somebody mistook him for being the wrong person, for being an op, and killed him. And that's something that, unfortunately, in Chicago, like I said, man, like young black and Latino guys have to deal with that. So going to a different neighborhood where nobody knows you is kind of a risky thing to do. But his nickname was Psycho, and they named the gang after him. Now another member that they lost was a guy named Marlo. He was a little bit younger, and Marlo was killed by a guy who I know personally, and so who I'm not going to talk about in this video. But anyways, yeah, Marlo was killed, and they also named it Marlo Block. Sometimes you may hear their most well-known member, whose name is PGF Nuke, who actually just got charged by the feds with the carjackings. He did 2 carjackings like 30 minutes apart. He had originally been charged by the state, but the feds took the case, so he's in big trouble now, man. That's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother story, though, that most of you guys, I assume, already know about. So PGF Nuke, I don't know, man. It doesn't look good with the feds taking that case, because the feds is a lot tougher than the state, as I know personally. But anyway, so West Inglewood and, you know, Gage Park and back of the yards all kind of intersect right by there. But one particular area of that zone down there that PGF Nuke liked to claim was Moetown. Now, I saw comments on some of the videos where he was doing this, and people were talking about, like, Detroit is the original Motown. Okay, that's a totally different Mo. Okay, when Detroit says Motown, they're talking about Motor Town. Okay, because the auto industry for the United States used to be, you know, headquartered over in Detroit. When Chicago says Motown, okay, they're talking about the Mo's, okay, or the Black Pea Stones. Another name they go by is the Mo's. I talk about this in several videos about the Stones. And when they say Mo's, what they're actually saying is the word Moors. Okay, and I did a whole separate video on this. I actually did a video on the Moors. I got more blood in me personally based on my DNA test. Most Southern Europeans have some type of more blood in us due to a lot of conquering and, you know, trading and stuff that went on between North Africa and Southern Europe. But that's a whole nother video. But ideologically, drawing upon the legacy of the Moors and the North African empires that the northern part of the continent had back in the Middle Ages and a little bit after the Middle Ages, it formed a lot of the ideological basis for the formation of the Black Pea Stones gang. Okay, for a while they were called the El Rukns, you know, for the Arabic word for stone. So it's like that gang is kind of I hate to even call it a gang, like, for the way it originated. It had a chance to be something kind of like the NAACP, kind of like a civil rights organization. the involvement in the streets kind of took it left and ruined that whole project that they had going on. But and you know, their leader, Chief Malik, he's now locked up. Jeff Fort, he had been basically, I don't know exactly the way to characterize the operation that the government had, but they had allegedly caught him taking or attempting to take money from the Libyans in order to do some attacks here on American soil. And so he is in prison. Like I mean, it doesn't, there's a campaign to get him out. His daughter, shout out to Amina. I mean, she does a lot of good stuff, but he's in kind of the same boat as Larry Hoover. Anyways, though, there's a whole set of neighborhoods that are referred to as Moetown because it's all like stone sets. Okay, now there's actually other gangs over in Moetown as well, particularly GDs that are like right by there. But I would say the majority is stones. But that's not where PGF really is. That's not where Psycho Gang really is. That 59th and Paulina is not really Moetown. Moetown is more kind of like to the north of that. Okay, and then you also have like a set of blocks, you know, where it's mainly vice lords. Okay, like where HB, Hoyne Boys, and them are at. There was a famous incident where the guy named Sugar Ray was showing himself on Facebook Live out in front of the store, and he got shot. And he didn't die in that incident. He was actually killed later in another incident. But so you got vice lords and you got stones, you know, in an area of the city that's known more for BDs and GDs. I've seen some of the comments on the videos asking, like, is this guy a BD or a GD? Chicago's got way more gangs than just BDs and GDs. BDs are not even one of the deepest black gangs in Chicago. Stones, I would say, overall are deeper. So Moetown is like right there above, like to the north of PGF. PGF really is not in Moetown. So when you hear PGF Nuke say he's from Moetown, you know, he might rock with guys from there, and I guess they can claim that in some way, but technically that block is not really part of Moetown. So anyways, that section of the South Side, though, has a long history. And today, you know, you see the same thing that you see in a lot of the black gangs, which is like, it's kind of like mixed sets. You know, it's not all one thing, not all stones, not all G's, because guys move all over the city. And PGF Nuke is originally actually from 600's block, but he moved over to Moetown, and they weren't letting like any new guys join the gang, like no new people. And you always hear them say it in their songs too. You know, the GDs and the BDs from like the 600 STL War, Front Street, and all those Taekwondo World, all that, they weren't letting any new guys come in. It was just, they had their war. Everything was kind of closed off. Okay, so he moved over to the Moetown area, or to the north, to the south of that, like in grammar school. So it looks like he's, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be getting out or beat the case or what, but he's sitting down for right now. Now, they were clicked up with, well, I'm not going to say clicked up with, they got along with the BDs, they got along with O Block, and they got along with 600. And, you know, that right there is like a meal ticket, okay, as far as just like knowing them, because they're getting rich. And so it's like, you know, if everybody, you know, helps everybody else out that's getting along with them, that's one thing, but it never materialized. The carjackings, okay, this is the thing that the younger generation is on big time. Like, the carjackings are just, all the young guys in Chicago now are doing this carjacking stuff like GTA. Some people are even blaming it on the video game. Personally, I don't see it as being that. It's just a thing to do. Like, once one, you know, set started doing is like all the sets just started doing that, man. So that's what happened to PGF Nuke. And it looks like this set that really, like I said, was going to be up next as far as, you know, making it out the hood and guys getting on it. Like, they've hit a wall, man. They just drove right off a cliff instead of, you know, driving up the hill. So you guys let me know what you think in the comment section, though, man. Though, is this, it's kind of an open question, is this the end for Psycho Gang? Like, are they just done now? Because with Nuke going away, and with you know, some of their like more well-loved members deceased, you know, it's like they don't have anything going on right now, man. You know, the main guy who was their meal ticket, he was out there doing the same stuff. So yeah, you guys let me know what you think, though, in the comment section, though, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens to that block in the coming generation. But for now, that Psycho Gang, it appears it's like they got nothing going on, though, as far as as far as like making it out. This is your boy Chicago News. I'm out.